Awesome. Good morning, you guys. I am super excited. Thank you, Jim, for that introduction. I want to say good morning, Accountability Nation. You know how we always say Symmetry Nation, but this call is growing so big that I feel like we need our own title here. So I am super excited to be here this morning. Got up extra early, got the workout done. I'm actually showered. I'm not in my workout gear or doing a workout during this call. So, we're doing good. But this morning, I really kind of wanted to talk to you. Thank you, Christina. You get it. But I really wanted to talk to you this morning about if you want to win bigger, you've got to think bigger. And this is something that I have been working with, struggling with, getting better with for the last 2 years in this business, right? And so I just want to talk for a few minutes this morning that goes beyond the scripts, beyond the leads, the objections, because put a one in the chat if you believe that this business doesn't just test your skills, but it also tests your mindset, your habits, and your belief. Okay, yeah, you're my people. You are my people. I get it too. Also, put a two in the chat if you went to bed on the 4th of July and you woke up and it was July 17th. I just feel like this month has flown by. I'm what is even happening this month? And so you might be partway through this month thinking, oh my gosh, I have zeros in the accountability sheet, right? Maybe I haven't written an app or something like that. It's okay. It's okay. We got a lot of month left, and we're going to kind of go over that a little bit today. So today I'm going to give you 5 hopefully powerful truths that you guys can just kind of think about and kind of reflect on your business, and hopefully they're going to reset you. They're going to fuel that belief that we want, and they're going to help you take ownership to help start seeing results today, right? Because if you're feeling behind this month, it's okay. There's a lot of time. So the number one thing that I want to talk to you about is your mind is either fueling you or it's failing you, right? What's happening here between our ears every day is so huge. Okay, so your brain is always listening. I am going through the power of the subconscious mind my second time. And I literally just read it or listened to it over the 4th of July when I was traveling to see Grace. Shaquina was one that talked about it. And I'm like, okay, this girl has mentioned it on every call I've been on. I'm going to, and I've been listening to it because I do it during my workouts, and it's changing the way I think, right? It is so, so good. So whatever you're feeding your mind, whether it's truth, whether it's doubt, it will go and find that proof, right? If you're constantly saying, I can't close, or no one answers, or this isn't working, your subconscious believes you, and you will literally go out and prove it right. And that's crazy to me, because sometimes we don't even really notice those little thoughts. But if you walk into the day, right, people are waiting for me to call, God is blessing my activity, your energy, your posture, your results will literally begin to shift. And I'm proof of this, because I was having kind of June was just tough, y'all. I don't know. Put a 3 in the chat if June was tough for anybody else. June was tough. And so I that kind of started to really kind of play. And then boom, July 1st, I'm driving to see Grace, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pop in this book and I'm going to listen to it. And now I'm starting to see that shift. July is just looking a lot different. My energy is a lot different. You can take the same two different agents, right? Give them the same leads, the same dial count, and one's going to tell you that these leads are junk and they don't work. And the other one is going to say, every no I get is putting me closer to that yes, right? Who do you think is going to book more appointments, right? So I really just kind of want you to ask yourself, what has been your default when you go to dial? What has been the thought that's in your mind that you're thinking over and over again? And maybe that you got to switch that, right? And then also, I always like to reflect on this because we're building leaders here, right? What if your entire team was doing this? What would that look like? Right? Would that be scary if your entire team was like, these leads don't work, none of this works? So your thoughts are really writing your script for this business. It really is. So start speaking like someone who's going to win. All right. Okay. Number 2, your calendar. Your calendar is the mirror of your belief. And this is one that I have I struggled with, because I'm like, oh, I keep my calendar, but it turns out I wasn't keeping my calendar to the detail that I needed to keep my calendar, right? I wasn't really time blocking to the degree that I needed to time block. And so that's a big shift that I've made this month. And it's making a big difference. So what you really believe is going to reflect in that monthly calendar, right? Like if you really don't believe that you're going to get on the phone and like you haven't time blocked it, right? So you can't just say like, hey, I'm going to write 10,000 this month, and you book 2 appointments and they're like, that's going to happen, right? There's a disconnect there, right? So a full calendar, what that's going to do, it's going to reflect the belief that you have in this business. It's going to say to yourself, I trust the system. I trust the process. I trust myself to follow through on this, right? So top producers aren't just like, hope this week works out, right? They're not, right? They're blocking their time. I forget who it was, but they were like, okay, well, if something comes up to my dial time, I don't take the dial time and it goes away. I just move the dial time, right? Like that's what top producers are doing. They're batching their leads. They're prepping the night before. Like last night, before I left the office, it's like, okay, this is what I'm dialing tomorrow. Like I already know when I sit down to do my little power hours that I have built in my day, my dial sessions, I already know who I'm dialing. And then I'm expecting to show up and I'm expecting to win. Right? So really kind of think about like, what does your calendar say about your belief? And then what if your team had that same calendar? Like, would that be a little bit scary? Right? You don't find time to build this business. You have to go and make it. Like, it's not like all of a sudden, like, trust me, I can fill my day, right? I can, Joe knows I can come up with a million excuses. So you got to go and make this time to work this business. Okay. All right. So number 3, you can't outsource discipline. All right. So this morning, there's a really cool thing that happens when you turn a certain age. I won't tell you the age, 45. But when you turn 45, if you have something going on in the morning, your body does this really cool thing where it will wake you from a dead of sleep about 45 minutes before you even need to think about getting up. And you will feel like, I don't know, the fire alarm's going off, right? Like your body's just like, what's going on? Well, this morning for us, it was seeing 3 teenagers off to Young Life Camp. So we're up way before we need to be. And we go upstairs. We hear our daughter's alarm goes off. She's fine. We're not worried. I'm like, I haven't heard the boys. So I go in and check on the boys. And when your boys, this is kind of fun if you have teenage boys, when your boys get bigger than you and they weigh more than you can literally wake them up by jumping on them. So I jumped on Sam and I was like, buddy, I think you need to get up. And he's like, Mom, I was snoozing for 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, state champions do not snooze. You're getting up and you got to be leaving. So which was a good thing because then in the midst of all this, we're figuring out that Jake doesn't have sheets. So I don't know what he's planning on to sleep for the week. Like, who knows? Sam's missing his hair, his pomade, right? His hair gel because, girls are going on this camp and apparently this is a big deal. Meanwhile, our daughter is downstairs and she's just like waiting to hug us, right? Her bag's in the car. Like she's ready to go. Like it's all fine. She's good. So it just like, it goes to show that it's like, okay, we gotta have discipline, right? In our household. So we see them off and it would have been really easy for Joe and I to sit there and drink morning coffee. Trust me, that sounded a lot better, but we didn't even talk about it, right? Like I went out to the garage, to the gym, started working out. He went down and rode his Peloton bike because that's just what we do, right? Like nobody would have known if we would have skipped. Like maybe somebody would have been looking at my social media and be like, oh, I didn't see Joel's workout today. Like what's, whatever, but doubtful, right? Like nobody would have known that we skipped, right? So no leader, no script can replace your own consistency. Right. And that motivation is great. Like I love it when I feel motivated to get in the gym, but it rarely happens. Right. But I just go in discipline because I'm disciplined to show up every day. So the motivation is great, but the discipline is what's going to literally change your income here. All right. So you got to show up even when that motivation feeling is gone. Right. So, I mean, really think about that. In this business, the rewards come when you keep going after the no, right? When it's that 10th no and you keep going, that's where that's where that profit's going to come. That's where that policy is going to get written and that family that you're going to get to protect. I mean, top agents in this company, they didn't get lucky, you guys. They weren't just lucky. They made their first 1,000 dials before they even got a yes. They've gotten more no's than you and I could even fathom. Right? I mean, they're posting their accountability numbers even when they're low. And they didn't skip steps. Like, trust me, they're not skipping steps, right? They're just testing they're just trusting the process, and they're just moving forward. So you really, like, I want you to kind of think about, are you working this business like it depends on you? Because it does. Like, your mentors can't go out there and do it for you. Are you making excuses, or are you making the moves to move forward? Right? You really, like, Jim always said this. I mean, you don't have to be the most talented agent, right? Like, you don't have to be like the most eloquent on the phone or all of that. You just have to be the most consistent one, right? You just have to be the one that shows up even after the no's, even after a June month. And you just have to be the one that doesn't quit after that no, right? Okay, number 4. I want you to protect your mind like your income depends on it, because it does, right? So that subconscious mind is always open. So what are you feeding it through conversations, through social media, podcasts, group chats? They're all shaping your beliefs, whether you believe it or not, they are. So, like, watch what you're consuming, right? Like, you tell your kids, like, you guard your kid's phone, right? Same thing. You got to do that for yourself. So are you spending more time in negative group chats than you are in, like, the Bible or the word or worship or podcasts or books or here, right? Because if you're doing that, all you're doing is you're feeding the weeds. You're not really feeding the fruit of this business and of yourself. Um, the other thing is too, you can't go out and, like, hustle with your hands and then doubt it in your heart, right? Like, you can't go out and be like, oh, I'm so busy and I'm doing all these things, and then in the back of your mind or your heart, like, you're doubting this. So think about a time that you have shown up, probably after this call. I mean, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, Beer, but shown up to work after, like, a great accountability call, or like a really solid podcast you listen to, or like a great book. You will notice that your input, that output that you're bringing out, is going to feel so much different, because that input that you brought in is feeding your soul, and so therefore it's going to reflect in that day. So I don't know if it's put on some hype music, or get off this call, and, like, I like to get off this call and immediately dial, because I'm, like, so ready for it, right? And so just think about, I want you to ask yourself this week, as you're kind of going through things, is like, what voices are you listening to? And is that the voice that you should be listening to? Right? Our mind is our most valuable asset, and you have to guard it. You have to guard it. Okay. Last one, number 5. Your future depends on what you do today. And I know some of us are feeling very behind, because all of a sudden you blinked and it's July, middle of July, and you're like, what the heck happened? But you guys, one thing that I want you to keep in mind is you can change your business in, like, one day, one call, one app, right? Like, this whole month can change with what you do today. It can shift your entire week if you're having a tough week, right? You don't need more time. You just need more faith, more focus, and more faith that when you pick up the phone, that's going to be your breakthrough, that's going to be the app that you're going to write, right? Like, I mean, there's so many examples where, an agent was at, like, $0 for the week, right? But they didn't stop. And then all of a sudden they wrote 4,000 in premium. Like, we see that all the time. Why? That can be you. Like, why can't that be you? Right? So are you really busy at looking at the scoreboard? Are you actually playing the game? Like, what are you focusing on? Like, focus on, like, think about that today, of, like, really what you're focusing on. I promise you're one decision and one dial away from one moment of building up that momentum that you had. Just don't stop short. Like, it's right there for y'all. So just, I don't want you to, like, feel like I'm calling you out. If you feel called out, okay, that's all right, right? But I'm really calling you up. But if something hit you today and you're like, okay, that's it. Like, that's the conviction. You guys, that's the conviction that you needed, right? That's the nudge. That's the reminder that you were made to do more here. Right? And we've been there. I mean, Joe and I have been there. We've swiped the credit card when we didn't feel like we could afford it, right? We questioned if this would work, probably me more than him, or the timing of all this. I'm like, why isn't this happening sooner? But we just kept going. Like we believe in this business so much, and we are seeing the blessings of, our family. Our kids are off to Young Life Camp. That wasn't cheap, right? All three of them, they're off. We're not even thinking about it, right? So if you're feeling stuck or defeated or behind, like you're not done. Like God's not done with you. Like just go out. This month is not over. Like some of you, like we all listened to Michael Matthews yesterday. Some of you were sitting on that call, and I'm just going to call it out, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to do all of this kind of stuff after conference, right? They're waiting to feel motivated after conference. You guys don't do that. Go in with the momentum going into conference, so that when you come out, you're just like on fire, right? Like it feels so good to show up at conference having just written 5,000 APV. Like, trust me on that. Okay. So one thing I just want to give you like a little bit of challenge, a little bit of homework. Pick one point that hit you today. Just one. Pick one point, and I want you to like text your mentor, text your upline, text your running buddy, your sideline buddy, some action step that you're committed to. Right? And I promise you guys, it will change the rest of the month for you. All right. And I just wanted to end with this because I just saw this and I thought this was so good. God doesn't bless comfort zone. He blesses obedience. So love you all. I'm so grateful for this call. I hope somebody took something from this. It's such a pleasure to be here and around amazing people like y'all.
Gosh, Jill, we are all so much better for the leadership that you and Joe bring to this place, the consistency. I'm hearing every one of these lessons that you're breaking out, and I've watched you guys live those. Like those are lived lessons. That's lived wisdom. That's not regurgitating books you read. That is books you read became internalized, became implemented, became experienced, became wisdom, became your life, became your business. And out of the outflow of that, I'm listening. My biggest takeaway that I think was the biggest thing for me coming up was that protect your mind piece. And so many times when I talk to you guys, we're not talking business. We're talking about your mind. We're protecting your mind from mundane things like distractions to serious things like self-doubt and insecurity. That doesn't end. You have to build guardrails. I'm going to show you guys a really real guardrail right now. You see my phone here? I'm going to go ahead and go to open Instagram. Let me see if I can do it. Boom. Straight up tells me this is a distraction and won't let me get into it. I can't. I've set that up for every single app on my phone. I have the temptation to use when I should not be using it. Every single one. I am on mission. I'm working. I am undistractable, not undistracted. I'm undistractable because I have to protect my calendar. I have to protect my mind. I have to protect my future. Jill, thank you for that reminder. I'm going to stop this recording.